Hey everyone, Tech Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. On this video, we're going to talk about the picture quality on this TV right here. This is the new 2025 Hisense U8Q. And just in case you missed it, on a previous video, I did do a full unboxing on this television showing you everything that it comes with, and we took a look at the design. I also went over the gaming settings as well as the Xbox settings so you can see how well it performs, and I went over the menu system so you can see some of the different controls that this TV has to offer. With that being said, let's see if this is the right television for you and your family, so let's get right into it. So first I'm going to show you some movies on these televisions because that's going to be one of the most important things people are going to use the TV for besides everyday watching sports and regular TV content. This TV has Mini LED Pro as well as QLED quantum dots. And this series of TVs has full array local dimming with up to 5600 zones, and that's going to give you these inky black levels. So what this means is that whenever you're watching movies or any type of content that has a lot of contrast in it, you're going to be able to achieve those dark black levels, unlike some of the TVs that doesn't have this type of technology. Another great feature about the Hisense U8Q is that it supports every format that I could think of on the market that's available for the consumers, and this includes Dolby Vision, Dolby Vision IQ, Dolby Vision Gaming, and a slew of other different type of formats. So what that means to you is that no matter what you play through this television, it's going to be able to match up with the content that you're watching to deliver the very best picture quality. I did make a calibration video on this television, and when I was testing out the brightness, you're going to get between 2900 to 3000 nits, which is plenty of brightness to bring out those specular highlights and get all the details that you need when it comes to reproduction of the image. Now keep in mind that this series of TVs are up to 5000 nits of peak brightness, so that was my findings, and you can get this TV from a 55-inch all the way up to a massive 100-inch screen. And just in case you're wondering, I want to test out this TV in different picture modes, and SDR, I feel like theater day mode was my likings because it was bright enough for a bright room, but it's going to give you a lot more brightness in the dark time, but you can choose which one you want, but that's the format that I like out of all the ones that are built into the TV. And here's the different picture modes in HDR. And again, for me, I like the HDR theater mode. It's not too bright, but it brings in a lot of natural look to it compared to like Vivid mode or Sports mode or any of the other formats that are in this television. And here's what the TV looks like in Dolby Vision IQ. And I would say for me, I do like the custom settings better because you can increase the brightness and customize it so it's going to look the best for you. But these are just some different settings that Dolby Vision has to offer. Since this TV does have AI built into it, I want to show you some of the different features you can do with it. The first thing you would need to do is just turn it on. And again, AI is just going to pretty much adjust the TV by itself. You can personalize your customization by hitting start here on the menu. And for those who have LG televisions, you might have seen this before. The first thing you would do is find the picture that you like and select the brightness. Then you would select the color temperature that you like. Next, you would select the color effect that you like. And the final step is selecting the clarity. Once you do that, it's going to generate a picture profile for you, and then you can compare it. So that's before, and this is after. And if you like the settings, just apply it. It also has automatic detection for filmmakers mode and IMAX, and this will find the best picture profile based off the content you're watching. And then you have automatic picture mode. So if you turn this on, the TV is going to adjust everything based off the content that it sees. You also have energy savings mode, but this is going to use the sensors in the TV to control the brightness, so I usually say leave these two features off. You also have automatic volume control, and you have AI voice enhancer, and this is great for those movies where the voice is very weak. It's going to use AI to actually make the TV sound a lot more clearer when it comes to dialogue. Now, if you like watching sports on your television, I can say that this TV has a great picture. Not only that it's bright and vivid, you're going to see all the details and the shadows, and you're going to see that the color reproduction is very good in this television. I also found that just watching sports, the motion seemed to be very smooth, but there's a little caveat here. Using my test disc at 24 frames per second, here's what motion actually looks like in a testing environment, but not necessarily actuality. I went ahead and turned everything off, and we'll start down here at MPEG noise reduction, and we can go through these different levels, and I only see just a very slight improvement. Now we're going to go down to the motion effect, and let's try the film mode. There's clear, which makes it a little bit better, but I can still see some jaggedy edges at the end, and there's your standard. Now if we go back over here to customize, this is the judder control, and generally this cleans everything up. But if I turn the judder up, It makes slight improvement all the way up. It still has the little jaggedy edges. Same thing with blur reduction. Let's turn that up. And again, not necessarily the smoothest image. Now, if we go down here to motion clearness, medium, high, and keep in mind this does actually make the TV darker, but the second line got smoother. So the motion on this TV wasn't the best I've ever seen, but again, it all depends on the content. There's going to be so many different shows and different applications and streaming devices that you're going to use that can really dictate that. But the good thing is that at least you have some type of control over it. Next, let's talk about the dirty screen effect on this television. So this dirty screen effects is really to show how uniform the TV is from a white scale all the way up to the black scale and everything in between. So if you look right here, you can see that there is a little bit of a netting on this side of the television and the other side, and the center is more solid. So what that means is that this TV is not going to be completely uniformed, and this is only noticeable on certain content, but you won't see it every day. But I just want you to be aware of how this TV does perform on this test. And it does a fairly good job on blooming as well, which is an enemy for mini LED television. Because these TVs have so many local dimming zones and so many different ways to control it, it all depends on what you're watching, but in my experience, the blooming was pretty good. It's not going to be perfect, but it does a good job at making sure that everything stays consistent. Next, we're going to talk about upscaling, and just in case you don't know what that is, it's going to take a low quality signal and try to convert it up to 4K to fill in the TV to give you the maximum picture quality. On 480p, I found that this TV was very clear and very detailed. But keep in mind, if you're watching 4:3 aspect ratio videos, that it will not fill in the screen, because I went into the settings and I tried to adjust all the different picture modes, and it did zoom in just a little bit, but it didn't fill the screen completely. Now, when you go to 720p, it's definitely going to be a lot better, because this is what the TV is meant to upscale. And if you go to 1080p, it's going to be even better. But again, 4K is always the best resolution. And just in case you wonder why you get these black bars on the top and bottom of the TV, it's because movies are filmed in widescreen. But I want to show you what true 4K signal looks like on this television, so you can see how this TV performs even with that type of signal. So that gives you a rough idea of how this TV performs in all these different scenarios, so you can see if it's the best picture quality for what you're looking for. In my opinion, I think it looks pretty good overall, and I'm very happy with it. Now, on the main video, I did talk about the Xbox and the gaming features. On this video, we're going to use the PS5. Now, keep in mind, this TV has some really cool gaming features. First of all, it will support 120 Hertz, 144 Hertz, and 165 Hertz, and it has a gaming accelerator that can do 288 Hertz, and that's going to help out with that smearing and ghosting that you find on some games. So overall, it's going to be a great experience, especially using HDMI 2.1 cables with a gaming console or a PC. The PlayStation is going to show 60 frames per second until you load up a game. And just so you know, this TV will support 1440p on SDR, and I did test HDR and it will work just fine. The PlayStation doesn't support Dolby Vision, but it will support the auto low latency. And just in case you missed it, this is what the game bar looks like. Again, I showed it on the unboxing video. And if you notice in the corner right now, it does say 60 frames per second as soon as I load up this game. And as you can see in the corner now, it shows 119 frames per second. So in other words, the PlayStation will support 120 Hz 4K games. You just have to load up the game for it to work. And the odd thing is, now when I go back into the video signal, now it's showing the variable refresh rate and up to 120 Hertz, which is odd. I wish PlayStation just did it automatically. So here's some gaming footage on Dirt 5, and one thing I can definitely tell is that the colors are very saturated, very contrasty. In my opinion, this is gonna be a great television for gaming, and the fact that it supports everything is pretty amazing. Now let's talk about the audio on this TV, and I will say that the audio on it is pretty powerful, and I'll let you hear a demo in just a minute and talk about a little bit more details. But I will tell you that it will support Dolby Atmos, and it's a virtual version of it, DTS:X, and it's virtual, as well as Bluetooth audio, and it does have a headphone jack on the back of it. So the configuration is such: you have 2 speakers on the bottom, 2 speakers on the side, 2 speakers on top, and on the back of it, it has 2 subwoofers. And one thing you'll notice about this TV, it is a little bit thicker, and this is all built up around the audio system to give you a more premium sound. Now keep in mind, I personally think it could be a replacement for a sound bar, but a sound bar with a separate subwoofer will give you a lot more clarity and bass response. But Here's what it sounds like.
This is a Tech Steve test to see how good this TV sounds.
I think I found my favorite distraction. Coast to my pros, I don't play by the rules, and I switch up the flow. Hey, chill on the weekend, give X's and no. She in love with the kid, I ain't texting the phone.
Now this TV does have a lot of settings in here like standard, theater, sports, music, speech, late night, game mode, and back to standard. There's also some processing in here. As you can see, it has Dolby Atmos, DTS, Virtual X, or you can turn the sound processing off. And one thing I like about this TV is because it has all these speakers in it, it does have a virtual Dolby Atmos, and it actually has a pretty good sound. Plus, you can enhance the dialogue if necessary. If we go into the advanced feature, you have a built-in equalizer, so you can change all the different frequencies. You also have a wall mount option. You have a separate volume for the subwoofer, which is great, and you can turn it off. Plus, you have balance. But one of the features I like is this lip sync feature. Just in case the picture is not matching up with the audio, you can go in here and adjust it to make sure that everything is synced. Now back to the acoustic tuning setup. I'll show you how it works, and basically it uses the microphone and your remote control. You sit in your sweet spot, and then the TV is going to adjust the sound automatically. Overall, I feel like this is a well-balanced television, especially with all the features on it. I will say that there are some things that did stick out to me as far as the motion wasn't as smooth as I like. I would say that it has a little bit more slight blooming than I prefer. But overall, the picture quality is dark, contrasty, colorful, and it has a lot of features, great audio system. So if you've been looking for a new TV, this is one that you might want to consider, especially if you're a Hisense fan. That's all I have on this video. And if you have questions, make sure you leave it below in the comments. I'm Tech Steve. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.